My name is Hannah Flint and I work in Greater Manchester for Stop the Traffic as the Modern Slavery Network Coordinator. So what we know about is that a lot of our victims are British, because if you're looking at county lines and people running drugs and being exploited, that's affecting a lot of young British people and vulnerable adults, so that's a huge proportion of our work. And then our other victims often will be from Eastern Europe, so we have a lot of Roma victims from Romania and Hungary. We also have a high profile of Vietnamese, and then Nigerian, and then actually from everywhere around the world. And we have a lot of sexual exploitation that we know about, but we also have forced labour, domestic servitude, and obviously county lines is the growing issue that we're getting more and more referrals on as people start to understand it better. One of the main challenges for me is that the people who this crime mostly affects are the people who are least likely or able to ask for help. So a big challenge for me is that the victims that we see in Greater Manchester are coming from communities or sections of society where they're not naturally connected to other people, or they're not naturally going to have trust in the police or believe that there is any help for them, or indeed, what their legal rights are and stuff. There's huge issues and complications for them. So a big challenge for me is reaching out and building bridges into places where people don't have loads of trust and confidence that there is help. So every year we've got around 150 victims in Greater Manchester that we know about, and for a long time it was a big problem of where do we take these people. They're in a state of trauma, they haven't got anywhere to sleep tonight, who's responsible for them? So we've now got some emergency accommodation. We've got a flat and it's a bespoke service for potential victims. We can take people there for up to 5 days, and that's been a huge relief for everybody working in the sector, really, to know, okay, we've got somewhere to take someone in that immediate first encounter if they need it. So things like that are quite challenging, but then it's really exciting when you get a solution. So if we're thinking about what can people do to help, I think the first thing people can do is to learn about what it would look like in their own communities. So on the Stop the Traffic website, there's resources on how to spot the signs, different types of exploitation, for example, the differences between domestic servitude or forced labour that could be in your takeaway, it could be in a restaurant you're at, it could be at a hotel you're staying in. Secondly is to be really confident about sharing that information and telling somebody, even if it's just a hunch. So in our team, if someone puts in a hunch, that can actually add to 10 other hunches, and then suddenly you've got a piece of information that somebody can do something with. So it's better to overshare and be wrong than to keep something back because you're worried about, well, I might be wrong or I'm wasting people's time. It's a big, dark issue, it's hard, it can be quite traumatic for those on the front line. So I think the more that people are inspired and encouraged by what other people are doing, the better. No one person has to solve it on their own, no one organisation has to either.